one thing that makes me feel comfortable about the quarter life crisis, I guess you could say, because the whole thing is very uncomfortable. The whole thing, it feels like I'm walking in two left shoes or wearing a suit that's too big. I'm in a situation where it's bigger than me. And for the longest time last year, I was overwhelmed. I fought through it to put together Flux, which was also about the beginnings of the existential angst and crises that I was experiencing at that time. I began to confront that, and Flux was the beginning of that process, which is why it was so all over the place and why it was so open concept, because that's what my life was like when I first began to see the signs of my quarter life crisis or my existential crisis. This year, although we're only in April, I've done a complete overhaul and a complete audit and assessment of, my thoughts about myself, my thoughts about my environment, my thoughts about leadership and management. And I just did a whole reassessment and I just did a whole reassessment and a whole audit, I guess, of my perspective and of my mindset and of the situation I was in with my music. And I just realized I was so proud because so many of the self-care and self-improvement goals that I set for myself, I actually met. I stopped keeping track of them because I got, because it got tedious and because it got boring. So I achieved my self-care goals, I achieved my self-improvement goals, and I felt ready to finally start on a new project, which I hadn't felt in 2022 or 2023. With that being said, that does not mean that the quarter life crisis was over, and that doesn't mean that my imposter syndrome is completely gone. But it means that I feel strong and empowered to figure it out and to be a role model for you guys and for everyone else who's just out here trying to figure out what it means to be in crisis and what it means to exit crisis and what it means to be in a state of tumult and still have to show up and still showing up. There's a lot of bravery in that and a lot of strength in that. And although this album, which the title I will get to in a second, although this album is about the quarter life crisis and the existential, angst of imposter syndrome and of meeting your own standards, the album is still positive. With the composition of this album, there's a lot of transition from minor key to major key, but I tried to resolve it on a major key. I'm trying to produce this album in a way where it doesn't leave you on the negative emotion, but it takes you to a more positive place. It's an escape within. It's an escape into the self. With that in mind, confronting the dualities of being disillusioned, but also feeling transcendent, of being stuck, but also feeling like you have all the strength that you need to move forward when the time is right. Anything can happen between now and October. But for now, my album Gemini is coming out in October. I will tell you what specific day in October once I'm for sure. I'm currently getting together the first single and all the different promotional stuff. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much the synopsis on Gemini. Let me look at the docket to see if there's anything else that I wanted to... Oh, my phone died. All right. Well, nice docket. So I have to try to remember what it was that I had planned for this part. I asked people if they had questions. Nobody had questions. Nobody had questions, so that's okay. For the next live stream, which I'll be doing several for this era, just be sure to submit your questions to my inbox or in my comment section or anywhere where you can get into contact with me. Feel free to submit your questions, and I will do my best to answer them promptly in the live stream and give you a shout out alongside my answer. Woo! That's a lot of information there. I'm trying to think of what else that I wanted to say. This album will have a video attached to it. There will be merch. There will be a limited ticketing local tour in the LA area, Q4 of this year and then Q1 of next year. Still tentative, so don't hold me to it, but that is what my intentions are. I was supposed to make, like I said, I was supposed to make room for Q&As here, but I think that what I've done thus far is just right. So if it's okay with y'all, I think I'm just going to end it here. If that's okay. So thank you for tuning in. If I know most of you, all of you are tuning in after. I know this is lunchtime, so I know what probably wasn't the best time, but this is the best time that I had. You know how that works. content creator stuff. You know, thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. I hope you're doing well. I hope that you're making it through the year excellently. And I look forward to engaging with you and talking to you very soon. So, Gemini, album 4, quarter 4 of 2024. Let's go.